I imagine stop and search in the UK is not a very pleasant experience by the police, of course. Especially if you have a hostile person wanting to do the search. Right. The best thing is to let them get on with it and have it over and done with. So if the
Yeah,
policeman stops you and wants to frisk you down, just let him get on with it.
yeah.
Uh, I get a pat down every time I go to watch a soccer game here.
Mm, yeah.
Uh, Although I admit it isn't a very rigorous one
Yeah.
because they take a look at my hair and my age, and they don't think I'm hiding knuckle dusters. You know?
Okay, yeah.
My
Yes.
son Michael, who goes with me,
Yeah,
who's half my age, of course.
yeah.
He tries to insist that they give me a, they want he wants them to put the finger in, which is why I mentioned the finger, just to just to just to just to make sure I'm not carrying, you know.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And he tells them, it's you should frisk him more.
Okay.
But anyway, I was once stopped by the police when I was driving, and they ordered me out of the car
Yeah.
whilst they were hid behind the open doors of their car
Mm.
with the guns drawn,
All right.
and I had to leave the car, hands
Yeah.
on the head, walk backwards towards them.
Yeah.
Um, I must have been in the wrong side of town at the wrong time, at the wrong time. You know, they must have been looking for somebody, and
Yeah.
it's my car. This was in Limoeiro,
All
and
right, yeah.
as my car's from here. They saw
Mm.
a strange car and thought, oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll have this one. But I've never been strip searched by the police,
Oh,
and it's this point I would like to touch upon, unintended, of course.
yes, yes.
I always feel it's more invasive when a woman gets strip searched. If one, I don't know why. I think it might be that she might be losing a bit of her femininity if during the process, you know.
Yeah, it's a bit different, yeah.
Really, really, it disturbed me a little bit about that. But anyway, so just to aggravate the situation a little in the UK, British Transport Police transgender officers are now to be allowed to strip search women.
Right?
There are restrictions, however. Firstly, the officer needs to possess what is called a gender recognition certificate, whatever that is. And also, the person being searched must agree to that officer doing the search. So,
Standard anyway, isn't it? Yeah.
but if you don't want a tranny doing an intimate search on you, you are allowed to say no.
Mm.
However, I don't know if everybody has the knowledge of that information. Right?
Right, yeah.
So, is this the beginning of a slippery slope? I ask myself, because this decision to allow these transgender police men, women, strip search ladies, this was only it's only happened 2 days ago. Right?
Okay.
Uh, so is it like I said, like I asked, it's the beginning of a slippery slope? It begins with the transport police, which this branch. Why this branch of policing? Firstly, it isn't a government police force. They are paid by the railways, and part of the freight tariffs go to their wages, and not necessarily the government. The government doesn't pay their wages. It's almost like for all intents and purposes, a private police force, right?
Right. Oh,
Because uh, they govern the railways,
mm.
right? And it worries me this because further along the road, will these restrictions be relaxed to transgender without the certificate to just plain men in the future? You know, uh, Why are the authorities trying to mingle trans people with women? Firstly with sports, then the use of bathrooms and toilets, to now strip searching females by what is, in all intents and purposes, a minor division of the police, responsible for, at least in my day as a youth, preventing unauthorized trespass on the railway lines and system. Like I said, for all intents and purposes, it's a private police force paid for by the railways and part of the freight, um, the cost of freight that is paid. There you are, something for you to mull over.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, I've been searched. Well, one day going through Tower Hill in London, I was going to work. I just got pulled to one side. I think by a female officer actually. Again, just by the side. But obviously I have male colleagues with her. I just remember very, very pleasant. She just explained to me. She said, "Look, yeah, we got a high. It's about a few years. We got a high tension situation here. All right, yeah, okay." She said, "Yeah, we're searching in different people," is what she said. Diversity of people. Yeah. I said, "Okay, I understand what you're saying. You don't need to explain it." Yeah. And then anyway, yeah, quite pleasant. Just got me to open my bag. Yeah, as you said, you're cooperative. It's for good reason. I didn't have anything that I didn't want anyone to see in that bag. Yeah. And yeah, just did it, went on my way. They gave me a bit of paper to say I've been searched. If I had any questions, I could have followed it up. Yeah. Um, Very reasonable, I must say. Wasn't not hostile to me at all. Explained the situation, kind of wink, not wink, wink. She didn't wink at me, not like that. But it's a sort of, you understand why we're asking you. You're not a suspect. But it's just look, yeah, okay. You understand why. Yeah, I mean, I was quite interested in what they did. Yeah, they looked at it. Yeah. I think I can't remember. I think I had a Swiss Army knife. They just looked at it and just smiled at me. Yeah, but you're not going to be doing anything like you going into the football ground. I mean, yeah, I've gone to football grounds here and been searched. Basically, they look at us and go, "Few grey hairs, a gringo. You ain't going to be causing any problems." Yeah. I mean, yeah, I wear an England shirt or a Tottenham shirt when I go, so I mean, which, raises other questions. It's not a Chelsea shirt, not a Headhunters or a West Ham for inner city firm. Yeah. Um, but yeah, getting back to that. I'm interested in what you said about the BT police, because in my former life, I worked in the rail transport industry. I always thought that in most cases on the rail, certainly on the railway I think they're also responsible for buses and possibly not, but I think they had as many powers as the police to a point. Um, I know they had their own investigation for fraud on the railways and everything else. They're a little bit more than a private security firm, but I think there was a point where they would hand over to the ordinary police, for want of a better term.
I think they've got a higher authority than a private security firm.
Yeah.
But I mean, what I'm trying to get at is they aren't a government police. They have the
Uh,
power of arrest.
yeah.
Let's put it that way.
Well, we
But
all
then
have
they
that. Yeah. Yeah.
right the power of arrest, and then they hand you across to the common or garden policeman that we know
Yeah.
to come along.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I've had some dealings with them, and um, was never a problem. Yeah, obviously I had dealings with them on the railway when I've had things stolen from railway premises when I was site managers and things. Yeah, they come and have a look. They kick the ground a bit. Yeah, we all have a cup of tea. I might offer them a cup of tea and they decline always. Just in case I imagine it's an inside job. Not I would do, but yeah, it's a um yeah, well, always decent guys, decent enough guys. Yeah, I mean, I always thought they were police. Again, it's not something I'd really question because I don't need to. Yeah. That's interesting. I'm certainly interested.
I'm
Yeah.
just, I'm just curious as to know in what situation would anybody, let alone women, uh, be made to do a strip search in front of these people?
No, that's the point. That's the next point I was getting on to.
Hmm.
Um, I can't. You wouldn't be able to do it on the street. Well, I hope you couldn't. Um, Even going into a woman's toilet, I imagine would be questionable. Um, I imagine in a store, but again, in a store, yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, they'd have to be careful. I mean, if that was to take place, I imagine it would have to be done down a police station or a
Or at
secure
least,
place. Yeah,
or with a policeman present.
yeah. Well, with a well, the appropriate personnel. Um, the, I mean, if you can be, there are certain things. Yeah, a woman should have the right to be refused to be searched in front of somebody that's not of her own gender, just as we could refuse to be searched in front of a female. I'd imagine. Yeah. I don't know about you, but I've got no desire to take my my clothes off in front of a of a of a
But
female. I don't know what.
I don't know. Depends if she came if she came part of a singergram.
Well, yeah, yeah, okay. Well, then that's a slightly different. Yeah, that opens up a
That's
whole.
another type of private police person as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's impersonating a police officer. I imagine that just about pushes the law to the limit. Yeah, even they have to be quite obviously not. Um, but well, at what point? Yeah, that probably transcends quite a few rules. But it's a yeah, it is a strange thing that's coming in more and more. I mean, obviously, I've got yeah, I disagree. Um, my attitude, as you know, and it isn't a but, it's a definite. Is people can dress as they want. They whatever makes them happy in life. Yeah, in appropriate circumstances. Yeah. Um, I wouldn't wear certain attire in certain situations in my professional life, possibly my private life. It would depend on circumstances. Yeah, I mean, I'm married. I have to wear what my wife tells me to wear most times when we go out. I do that for a quiet life. Yeah, I'm not going to die on that hill. Um, but I cannot. And but yeah, I just yeah, like you, it is a peculiar situation. Again, when you have women's sport, when you've got, to all intents and purposes, still a male changing in front of females. Yeah. Um, as happens in the US. I don't know if it's happened in the UK or not. I've not. Again, I find it all a bit fallacious. It's not something I particularly want to read about. Um, and I've got female members in my family I think would be very objectionable in that situation, and rightly so as well. It's like I say, there's nothing against people who wish to have an alternative lifestyle to myself. Um, make yourself happy, so to speak. But I do think that's part of the problem. They are making themselves happy in that situation, quite frankly, or some of them. I can't speak for everything. I mean, there's exceptions or there's different things. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not anyone else. Again, there's rules of engagement in our accepted social norms. Yeah. And um, I do believe a lot, I'm going to be honest, a lot of this is being done to create confusion. Yeah. And yeah, to put it quite honestly, I see it as creating confusion. Um, and it's been done deliberately, I don't know, to undermine our norms of society, wherever they are. Now, I'm liberal. People might disagree.
The trainers to accept the bigger crushing blow which comes in the future.
Well,
It's
uh,
called weaning. We do this with children when they're
yeah,
babies. You give them a little bit of solids, but not too much, as they're weaning from milk to solids.
yeah, exactly.
and
Yeah,
that's what's being done to us. We're being
ha-
fed semi-solids, if you
but
like.
a majority of people are not accepting it, and the fact it's being reported, and the fact it's coming, yeah, um,
Well, it has to be reported because that's whole part of it. I mean, this information that I got was from a very small headline, a very small headline. But the
yeah,
thing is, it needs to be reported because that's part of setting it up. The fact that
yeah.
it's a very small headline
Mm.
suggests that the information is not all that important.
Well,
However, it could. I think this is very important
well,
because it's a major change. Like I
well,
said, it's not a government police force.
mm, well, yeah. I mean, I'm being tactful here on a lot of reasons. And again, yeah, have I got a fear of saying it? I think I think I have quite a few questions about it. And again, the fact you've got a female has the right to refuse to do that. But what does that refusal mean? What could she be accused of then? What? Yeah, a refusal to act on that. I mean, okay, a female might have to be strip searched if she's suspected of theft or carrying illicit substances.
That
Um,
isn't that isn't that is that doesn't come under the umbrella of the British Transport Police.
no, and again, um,
They're
I
like
mean,
car parking attendants and keeping the kids off the railway lines. That when I used to go on the railway lines when I was a kid. The transport police come past every now and then
yeah,
between the coal trains
yeah,
to make sure that we were off the tracks. And if we were caught, we're taken home by
yeah,
them.
yeah, yeah. I mean, again, it's a peculiar story,
Yeah.
and yeah, I mean, I'm going through my mind at the moment. What did the BT, the British Transport Police, and like you said, they looked at the security of the railway. They would walk up and down the carriages. Yeah, but again, the police would go on the station. I don't know what the hierarchical situation was. Again, it's not something I'd ever really be involved with. We knew if something happened on the railway, we'd probably phone the BT police, British Transport Police, because British Transport Police. And again, they'd probably make the decision jurisdiction then. Um, yeah, I mean, I do know of a case where there was some quite serious internal theft going on. I'm not going to mention the case now because the people involved in it are still walking about. Um, but it's again, that was a PT police. I think that started off as a BT police and then got handed over into the civil authorities. Yeah, because the BT police have got the training to operate in a certain place, i.e., on the railway track. If a civil policeman goes on there, they're not trained to keep out the way of trains, quite bluntly.
Of
Yeah,
course, of course.
yeah. Um, yeah, where somebody who had the same training as myself would know how to behave in that environment.
And
Yeah,
all, and also a uniformed policeman, unless they catch you actually stealing something,
yeah.
they don't arrest you. It's
Well, no,
it's up it's up to the detectives, it's up to the CID, the plainclose guys, to
hey,
do their diligence and then get you later.
yeah. Hey, actually, no, can't they suspect you of thinking of things now? I believe. Yeah. Thinking about praying. I mean, that could be the next thing if you're sitting quietly on a carriage and everything else, and be accused of praying next to somebody who might be offended by you thinking about praying. I don't know. It's all a bit peculiar for me at the moment. Quite where the pendulum is going to swing to and from, I don't know, and what will be acceptable. Um, Again, yeah, I'm not in the UK. I don't know the grounding. It's a very strange thing. Like you say, what do the PT police actually do? I cannot think of any circumstances where they could search anything, let alone a female. The only time they could arrest someone would be on a railway carriage if a female was doing something strange on a railway carriage. But again, whereas the norm would be probably hand them over to a. I mean, if I was a male officer in that situation and I had access to ask a female colleague to do something, I probably would. Yeah, because I would want to protect myself. Again, if I've only got a transsexual, depend. I mean, don't forget, transsexuals can be one way or another as well. Um, and yeah, I would be. I don't know what I'd be doing in those situations, but I'm not a trained officer either. So yeah, I can only play a scenario in my mind. Yeah, it.
I was gonna relate another story
Yeah,
about a transsexual policeman
mm,
who I think was arrested because he was attacking two of his male colleagues with a penis pump. But I thought that this I thought this story about the
yeah.
stripping strip searching women
Yeah.
more apt for the podcast.
I must admit, I don't even know what a penis pump is. Sorry.
Well, all I know is that this bloke had one, or this bloke turning woman had one. And why would need one when
Well,
he claims
that's
it's a
the other
woman? I don't
question.
know.
Yeah, I mean, it brings the whole joke. The whole joke's about the truncheon to another limb. Real, I imagine. I don't even know what one of them is. Oh, it's, oh well. Well, your podcast for an education. I'll give it that for you, Steve. You know, I'm sorry, but you've hit my level. You've hit my level of knowledge on that one.
Intellectual.